I'm having fun. I just have one to worry about right now, and there's no comparison, and nobody's getting jealous, and yeah.
Hey everyone, welcome back. Today, we're diving into Sister Wives Season 19, Episode 25. And wow, there's so much to unpack, especially when it comes to Robyn Brown. This episode really shines a spotlight on her emotional silence, and honestly, it's one of the most powerful things we've seen all season. Right from the start, you can tell something's off with Robyn. She's quiet, withdrawn, and there's this heavy sadness behind her eyes that you just can't ignore. If you've been following the Browns for a while, you know that Robyn's always had a complex role in this family. Sometimes caught between being the newer wife, sometimes feeling like the one people turn to, and other times definitely feeling isolated. But this episode, it's different. It's almost like the silence Robyn holds is louder than any words she could say. And that silence is packed with tension that's been building for years. You can see it in the way she avoids eye contact with the other wives, how she holds herself back in family gatherings, and even in her body language. It's all telling a story of a woman who's holding back a storm inside. What's interesting is that this isn't just about grief. Sure, the family is dealing with heavy losses right now, and Robyn is grieving too, but her silence goes beyond that. It feels like she's carrying not just sorrow but also confusion, frustration, and maybe even a bit of guilt. And that combination is what makes this episode so compelling to watch. You have to understand, the Brown family has been through a lot, and Robyn's role has often been under scrutiny. There's been drama about favoritism, about how she fits into the family, and even about her relationship with Kody. And all of that pressure, that spotlight, it's a lot for anyone to handle, especially when you're trying to be strong for everyone else. In this episode, Robyn's silence seems almost like a defense mechanism. Like she's saying, I can't say what I'm really feeling because it might make things worse. Or maybe she's thinking, if I say too much, I'll open old wounds. Either way, the result is the same. A quiet tension that fills every room she's in. What's so powerful is how the cameras capture those small moments. The pauses, the hesitant glances, the way her voice falters when she finally does speak. It's subtle, but it's there. You don't need words to see that Robyn is struggling with something deep inside. And this episode doesn't shy away from showing how that silence affects the rest of the family. The other wives pick up on it, of course, and their reactions range from sympathy to frustration. You can tell some of them want to reach out, but don't know how. Others seem almost shut down by the distance growing between them and Robyn. It's heartbreaking, because this silence isn't just Robyn's burden, it's becoming a wall that divides the entire family. In moments when they should be supporting each other, you see that emotional gap widening. It's like everyone is walking on eggshells, unsure how to break through without causing more pain. And then there's Kody. His presence near Robyn feels different this episode, almost protective, but also a little tense. Their relationship has been complicated for years, and here it feels like Kody is one of the few people Robyn is still letting in, even if it's just a little bit. But that also highlights the divide between Robyn and the other wives even more clearly. One of the most striking things about Robyn's silence is that it's not just about what's left unsaid, it's about what's being felt but can't be expressed. There's grief, yes, but there's also loneliness, fear, and a deep need for understanding and connection. And that's something that resonates with a lot of viewers, because who hasn't felt that way at some point? I think that's why this episode hits so hard. It shows us the human side of Robyn, not just the wife or the mother or the figure in the family drama, but a person who's vulnerable and hurting in ways we haven't fully seen before. It's also a reminder of how difficult it can be to communicate pain, especially in a family as public and complicated as the Browns. Sometimes silence feels like the only option because words can fail you, or because you're afraid of being judged or misunderstood. What this episode really does well is peel back the layers of Robyn's character. It's a deep dive into her inner world, showing us the toll that years of family conflict, public scrutiny, and personal loss have taken on her. And it leaves you rooting for her, hoping she finds a way to break free from that silence and finally be heard. First off, you can't talk about Robyn's silence without talking about the tension it creates between her and the other wives. The Browns are already juggling a complex web of emotions, loyalties, and unspoken resentments, and when one person shuts down, it throws the whole dynamic out of balance. In this episode, you see the other wives, especially Murray and Janelle, clearly affected by Robyn's withdrawal. It's like they want to connect, to offer support, but Robyn's silence almost feels like a wall, and that wall creates frustration and even a little resentment on both sides. Murray, who's had her own complicated history with Robyn, shows moments of awkwardness and uncertainty. It's clear she wants to be there for Robyn, but also feels shut out. You can see it in her eyes and in the way she hesitates before speaking. It's painful because it shows how far apart they've drifted, but also how much Murray still cares, even if she's not always great at showing it. Janelle's interactions with Robyn feel similarly strained. Janelle tries to break through the silence, to find common ground, but it's almost like Robyn's emotional distance makes those efforts feel one-sided. And that creates tension, not just between the two wives, but it spills over into the family gatherings and even affects how the kids see their mothers. What's heartbreaking is that this episode captures these moments so authentically. There's no big dramatic confrontation, no shouting matches, just quiet, uncomfortable interactions that speak volumes. It's a reminder that sometimes the most powerful family conflicts happen in the silence, in what's left unsaid. And then you have the kids. You can see the younger Browns picking up on this tension too. They notice when mom isn't herself, and when the family vibe shifts. It's subtle, but it's there. Kids are sensitive to emotional undercurrents, and this silence creates confusion for them. They want the family to be whole, but this episode shows us that right now things feel fractured. Another important aspect of this episode is how Robyn's silence influences Kody. His role as the husband to multiple wives means he's constantly trying to balance everyone's needs, but here you see him visibly struggling. He's caught between wanting to support Robyn and managing the tension it creates with the others. There are moments when Kody seems almost helpless, wanting to reach out but unsure how, and that adds another layer to the episode's emotional complexity. Because it's not just about Robyn's silence, it's about how that silence forces everyone else to react and adapt, sometimes in ways that cause even more strain. What's really compelling is how the episode doesn't offer easy answers or resolutions. Instead, it lays bare the reality that family dynamics, especially in a family as unique as the Browns, are messy and complicated. Robyn's silence isn't something that can just be fixed with a conversation or a group hug. It's a symptom of deeper issues. Grief, alienation, past hurts, that will take time to heal. The way the show captures Robyn's internal struggle alongside the family's external tensions is what makes this episode so raw and real. It invites viewers to empathize with Robyn's pain but also understand the ripple effects on those around her. So what does this mean for the future of the Brown family? Well, this episode hints at a crossroads. Robyn's silence and the tension it creates could either deepen the divide or become a catalyst for some honest conversations, if everyone is ready for that. We see glimpses of hope when family members try to reach out, even if it's awkward or unsuccessful. It's like the episode is saying this is hard but it's not hopeless, and that's something fans can really hold on to. At the same time, it's clear that the Browns have a lot of work to do. Robyn's silence is a call to action, a reminder that ignoring emotional pain only makes things worse. For the family to move forward, they'll need to find ways to break through that silence, to listen more deeply and to support each other with patience and empathy. This episode also raises questions about the pressures of living life in the public eye. The Browns' struggles aren't just private, they're broadcast for millions to see. That kind of scrutiny can make it even harder for family members like Robyn to open up. There's a vulnerability there that the cameras capture beautifully but also complicate. So to sum up this part, Robyn's emotional silence in Season 19 Episode 25 isn't just a personal battle, it's a powerful force affecting every relationship in the Brown family. It brings out old wounds, creates new tensions, and challenges everyone to confront the reality of their family dynamics. But it also offers a glimpse of hope, that maybe, just maybe, through that silence and tension there's a path toward healing and reconnection. Robyn's silence in this episode is more than just a reaction to grief or stress, it's a window into her internal struggle. Throughout the season we've seen glimpses of Robyn wrestling with feelings of isolation, disappointment, and even resentment. But this episode strips everything down to the rawest emotion, and silence is sometimes the most powerful way she expresses that. What's so compelling here is that Robyn's silence isn't portrayed as weakness. Instead, it feels like a protective shield, a way for her to cope when words fail or when speaking might open old wounds too wide. This quietness invites us to empathize with her in a deeper way, reminding us that everyone processes pain differently. We also get a sense that Robyn might be questioning her place within this unique family structure more than ever. The show subtly hints at her feeling marginalized at times, caught between her role as a wife and her own needs as an individual. Her silence could be a reflection of that tension, a kind of quiet protest against being unheard or overlooked. And this is where the episode really hits home, because it shows us that Robyn's emotional silence isn't just about the present moment. It's about years of navigating complex family dynamics, managing expectations, and sometimes putting others' needs ahead of her own. But this episode also plants a seed of transformation. Even though Robyn is silent, you can tell she's not giving up. Her quietness feels more like a pause, a moment to gather strength before she speaks her truth. And for viewers who have followed her journey, this feels like an important turning point. There's a subtle power in that silence. It's as if Robyn is reclaiming her voice by choosing when and how to express herself. This episode challenges the notion that being outspoken is the only way to show strength. Sometimes strength is found in holding space for your emotions, in processing quietly, and in preparing for what comes next. Another important takeaway from this episode is the role of healing. Robyn's silence opens up space for the Browns to confront their own shortcomings, to recognize that support doesn't always come in loud declarations, but sometimes in patience and presence. You can see this in the tentative ways the family members approach Robyn, moments where words fail, but actions speak volumes. It's a subtle reminder that healing isn't always dramatic. It's often quiet, gradual, and requires everyone's willingness to listen beyond words. As fans, this episode invites us to reflect on the complexities of family, communication, and emotional expression. It challenges us to think about how we support loved ones who might not be ready or able to speak openly about their pain. Looking ahead, Robyn's silence leaves us wondering what's next for her. Will this quiet moment turn into a breakthrough? Will she find new ways to assert herself and rebuild bridges within the family? The episode leaves these questions open, which keeps the story compelling and real. Ultimately, Sister Wives Season 19 Episode 25 reminds us that sometimes the most powerful stories are told not through words but through what's left unspoken. Robyn's emotional silence is a poignant chapter in the Browns' ongoing journey, one that speaks to resilience, complexity, and the hope for healing. Thanks so much for watching and sticking with me through this deep dive. If you've been following the Browns and this season, what are your thoughts on Robyn's silence? Do you think it signals a bigger change coming? Drop your comments below. I love hearing your take on these family moments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more Sister Wives breakdowns and updates. There's a lot more to come as this season unfolds, and I'll be here to bring you all the details and analysis. Until next time, take care and keep the conversation going. Family is complicated, but understanding is what helps us get through it.